experience herself as she has been created, which is so radiant and so strong and true to herself that she will shine in the presence of your deep and accepting love. May you both use the gift of this marriage to listen and honor the truth in your own heart, so you can then listen and honor the truth in each other's. I know that there is no greater gift than the ability to do this. And I also am happy to say, knowing you both as I do, that it is such a joy for me to be standing here today. And I know you practice this every day with grace and with humor. That is the key to the best life well lived. So thank you so much for this opportunity and privilege. And so I'm going to call on Maya, who is going to be putting flowers around both of them. But before she does, I just want to explain a little bit about why she's doing this. Because the flowers represent sweetness and beauty and abundance of life. And it is not only a reminder to take the time to enjoy all of these gifts that life offers us, but it is also a way of creating a container. This container symbolizes your ability to hold everything. And that means when challenges come to us in life, as they do, the way we get through those challenges is the power of love. By our friends, our family, certainly our loved ones, our community, and most of all by the power of love that has created us and absolutely sustains us until we are released and go back to the love of where we've come from. So Maya, as you put these flowers around them, we just are so grateful for your beautiful music. Karen, thank you so much for your playing. Now come to the blessing of the waters of life. And the water represents pure aliveness, the passion for living. And what that means is that as you drink from this cup, you are really saying to each other, yes. Yes, again, I will be with you through all that life brings, through the tears of our greatest joys, as well as the tears of sorrow. And so we know that you, Spirit of life, to the presence that beats our hearts. We thank you for blessing these waters of life, so that as Claudia and David drink from your cup, may their lives be filled to overflowing with all that you know they require to continuously open their hearts to the places inside of themselves that might still be hidden, just waiting to be revealed. And in that revelation, may you both cultivate the deepest compassion for yourself and for each other. So at this time, into this circle, I'd like to call on our beloved David, who is going to bless us with your reading.
Good afternoon. Love offers a remarkable arc through the years. And just as it said that youth is wasted on the young, sometimes I wonder if it can be claimed that youth is also, or rather that love is also wasted on the young. Or maybe it can be better said that the best part of love comes after years of life experience. Love begins hot and breathy. Torrid is a good word to express the aching yearning and feverish pitch of our love, but it can also be an unrealistic love that doesn't allow room for our human imperfections. And the tests ahead are furthest from the minds of the two who are in love. But maybe that's a good thing. Then love becomes a bit more realistic. Life together begins in the facts of life, the challenges of daily survival, and the reality of human imperfections begin to creep in. Adjustments must be made. A division of labor is arrived at. Finances, children, and of course the many little interesting habits that require willingness to look past these things. Sometimes we can be less successful at that looking past than the original love may have suggested would be the case. If the pair are attentive, maybe date night appears. But this part of loving certainly isn't like when the pair first got together. Many relationships don't survive this period. But if we're lucky and have weathered this period, after kids move out and some degree of breathing room is gained from life's challenges, our attention can return to each other, and things have the chance to change. It's almost as if the whole affair begins again. With that bit of breathing room and the wisdom that the years of life's challenges can impart, we begin to take stock in ourselves and each other. And if we've grown and gained some insight, we begin to see what love truly asks of us, what it allows us to recognize about the other person and about life itself. John Powell, from his book, The Secret of Staying in Love, says, quote, "Love is the joy of loving others and others loving you, not having spouses become your whole life. A person fully alive will relate well to many people and enjoy a great variety of things. My love must affirm and free you to live fully, to be alive in all of your parts and powers, to experience fully the range of the heavenly glory that fills our world," end quote. And so there's a chance to see that love is not just breathy and torrid, nor businesslike and challenging. Instead, it has the opportunity to grow within ourselves so that not only the relationship, but all of life expands and shifts. My father used a lot of expressions and sayings. Through the years, my siblings and I called them dadisms. We rolled our eyes every time he brought out another dadism and secretly laughed at how corny they were. Interestingly enough, I now find myself quoting those same aphorisms and eliciting the same exact reactions from my sons and daughter. Yet now I find them wise and apropos. One such dadism he used is, "Life is a matter of building fences and gates. Our goal in life should be to build more gates and fewer fences." I've given that expression a lot of thought through the years, not only in regards to being with my lovely wife, Joy, but in all of my relationships. Fences limit the ability for things to come into your yard. They also limit our ability to go out beyond that boundary. Gates allow others to come in and for ourselves to go out. Yes, boundaries are important, But I like that a life goal should be able to find ways to allow more in and for us to go beyond our limits. And so it is with love. The late Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, in noting how deeply we are all interconnected, coined the term interbeing. We interbe in all of our relationships, and with every encounter, at home or out in the world, we inter-are. And so it is with loving one another. If our higher intent is to grow closer to that person whom we love, we find ways to become melded more and more deeply with him or her. And the deeper we inter-are, the more amazing our love and our lives become. Love alters our sense of importance. Our boundaries disappear, and magically, another gate is created. In Robert Johnson's book, Understanding the Psychology of Romantic Love, he writes, "Love alters our sense of importance. In its very essence, love is an appreciation. Through love, we see that the other individual has a great value in the cosmos, as great as our own. It becomes just as important to us that he or she should be whole, should live fully, should find the joy of life as that our own needs be met." As the years roll by, if we're lucky enough to dig deeply enough within our own hearts and to have a partner who does the same, we can find that the simple act of committing to being together is not only no longer being concerned about the differences in our chosen one, but embracing them and understanding that those differences are what makes the marriage stronger. Together, the two become a better whole. Again, Robert Johnson says, to be capable of real love means becoming mature with realistic expectations of the other person. It means accepting responsibility for our own happiness or unhappiness, and neither expecting the other person to make us happy, nor blaming that person for our bad moods and frustrations. The love of self is a true and valid love. It's the greatest of all disciplines to know oneself, for when an individual knows himself, he knows God. Further, Johnson said, love is the power within us that affirms and values another human being as he or she is. Real love affirms that person who is actually there, rather than the ideal we would like him or her to be, or the projection that flows from our minds. Love is the inner God who opens our blind eyes to the beauty, value, and quality of the other person. Love causes us to value that person as a total, individual self, and that means that we accept the negative side as well as the positive, the imperfections as well as the admirable qualities. When one truly loves a person rather than the projection, one loves the shadow just as one loves the rest. One accepts the other's totality. One of my careers was as a library director in Sedona, Arizona. One of the reasons for that is my love of books. Libraries have a lot of books. I really love my job. One of the myriad books that I enjoyed was Corelli's Mandolin by Louis de Bernier. I particularly enjoy this passage that speaks to Thich Nhat Hanh's interbeing. He said, "Love is a temporary madness. It erupts like an earthquake and then subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots have become so entwined together that it's inconceivable that you should ever part. Because that's what love is. Love is not breathlessness. It's not excitement. It's not the promulgation of promises of eternal passion. That's just being in love, which any of us can convince ourselves we are. Love itself is what's left over when being in love has burned away. And that's both an art and a fortunate accident. Your mother and I had it. We had roots that grew together towards each other underground. And when all the pretty blossoms had fallen from our branches, we found that we were one tree and not two. Claudia and David have known each other for many years. Recently, they more deeply reconnected, and they found that they held the same ideals of what love is and what it offers, both between themselves and in the world. I believe that the awareness and commitment to a larger, mature love, not the breathy, torrid love of youth, is what they offer one another. But by embodying it in their relationship, they can make the world better. I believe they have committed to building more gates than fences. And the world surely needs that now. Congratulations, you two.
And now it It is our privilege to call on Louisa, who is also going to come up and offer you her blessings. Yes.
Hello, beloved ones. How beautiful you all are. We come together this very special day to celebrate the union of two dear friends. We come from all parts of the compass, so from far away, with that one goal to support our friends in their decision to come together, that gift of God that is love that you share together. There's a poem that's entitled Love, and this is what you've found in each other. For those of us who have seen you, been with you a few days, we see this all over you. It goes as such: I love you not only for what you are, but for what I am when I am with you. I love you not only for what you have made of yourself, but for what you are making of me. I love you for the past and for the part of me that you have brought out. I love you for putting your hand in my hand and around my heart, and passing over all the foolishness, the weak things that you can't help but see there, and for drawing out into the light all of the beautiful belongings that no one else had looked quite far enough to find. I love you because you are helping me to make the lumber of my life not a tavern, but a temple, out of the works of my everyday, not a reproach, but a song. You have done it without a touch, without a word. You have done it by being yourself, my companion, my comforter, my guide and my friend, the one I love. And as it is said, love is just a word until someone comes along and gives it meaning. So we have come, friends and family, to celebrate the love you both have found in one another. We're preparing for 3 beautiful pieces of music. One, Panis Angelica, dedicated to the Christ and the love of the angelic host. One entitled, I Am the presence of God within the heart of each and every one of us. And then the goal of life, the ascension, the rising out of the physical realm as our beloved Jesus gave us that example unto the Father above. We have been told concerning music, and we shared breakfast this morning, our precious David. We and our dear friends, many friends came together and we shared breakfast to give him that moral support. Not that he needed it, but we wanted to be together with our friend this morning. He said, as we were just chatting casually, he says, you know, music is my life. And I've known David nearly my whole life. And I can say of him, he came into this life with a God gift. And it's a gift of music. And when you say a God gift, it can be misunderstood in that it's as if it all came and he gave no effort to grow it or expand it, which couldn't be more to the contrary. Oh my. Here, we've got water right here. Here's a goblet. Here. Here we go. That's okay. Here, we have water right here. Honey, let's get the... Here's a little more water. I have candy. Honey, candy? Candy? Sugar. I'll get the sugar. One's fine. It's okay, sweetheart. She's still missing. I'm going to share that I just said to Claudia and our precious David. The first day of high school, I fainted right there on the floor. It can happen. All of a sudden, the radiation and the feeling in the world, the new experience, and in this case, so much love in the atmosphere. It's going to wrap her up, and this is all going to be just fine. So let us continue just a little bit in this direction we were speaking about with our blessed David. He came into this world with a gift of music, and it was a profound gift. And having known David my whole life, and my mother, who was a very, very accomplished musician, she said of David, I know no one who knows music and the practice of harmony. And harmony in music is the ability to know the mathematics of it, the ability to transfer it from key to key. He needs music or doesn't need music. It's irrelevant. He can sit at that instrument, play for an hour, and it's just gorgeous music. And if his heart spirit moves him, he just modulates up a key, and off he goes. This is an extraordinary, extraordinary gift. And we are so grateful, those of us who have known him for so many years. All the times we've heard him play, and we anticipate many more times. We want to have lots of fun together, sharing that gift of music that you have brought to this planet. And it is said of music by one of great wisdom, music, as you know, is a harmoniously qualified energy, and when your heart really expands its flame through music, the love of life is in action through you. And that love of life, in its process of expanding its blessing to life in the universe around you, produces through music a mighty release of its power and blessing to life. It's a tremendous power and gift to the planet. There are chords in the sounds of the ethers of this planet. If drawn into the energy of the physical world, they could shatter everything of discord. Rhythms in the power of that music, melodies so exquisite, it would make you weep with joy, so great is its power. Know with every fiber of your being that you could change everything in your bodies or in your affairs by enough constructive music. You have never quite understood what tremendous power and service can be released through music. We're so grateful, David. God bless you for this gift to this planet. And now we come. I got the opportunity when I was asked to do this to be able to share a little bit about the two of you. Now I'm going to come to our precious Claudia. As those of you who know her, if you could say in a few words what encapsulates this person, this is kindness and generosity of spirit personified. Her kindness to life is so, could make me cry, and I don't cry easily, but it's just so much kindness, so much awareness of life and compassion to life. And then I'm going to tell you, as we're preparing for a beautiful song, as I said, dedicated to the angelic host and to the love of the Christ. This is a little that meant a lot to me. We, in our church, the St. Germain Foundation, we have an annual performance that's dedicated to the life of Christ entitled I Am Come. And in it, we have our beloved Jesus, the disciples, but we also represent the angelic host beautifully. They're beautifully, beautifully represented for mankind to get the eye picture of an angel. So here we are in our final performance. It's a Sunday performance. And we start at 8. I would say this is maybe 7:30 that this happened. We had our cast, of course, in place. We're all rehearsed. And then somebody, as I direct the angels, the news came to me that one of the angels in a very pivotal scene entitled The Wilderness had a little health tender, and she could not go on. Well, she wasn't in a position where you could just shift people in their positions so they could love the Christ and have symmetry. She had a very important moving part with the Christ. Not but a few seconds after that news came to me, Claudia walks by. And I walk up to our beloved Claudia. Do you remember that year? I walked up to our precious friend here in that way we do when we reach out and touch a person's arm and say, my friend, we have a need. She says, I'm there. What can I do? She put on the costume with maybe all of 2 minutes of preparatory And she went on the stage, and she performed that part as that angel with such beauty. She has the most beautiful bearing in her stature as she comes on the stage and her arms are outstretched, and the love of the Christ. In all these years, I have never forgotten what this live stream was in the service to the Christ that day, and her ability to rise to the occasion right there on the moment. It was beautiful to behold. And concerning the angelic host, it's a beautiful poem entitled A Vision. And it goes as such: it seems as though lustrous within the sun, great and august and beautiful they stand, angels with majesty and wonderhood that only God can know when lust is done. Glorious they are, these risen lords of life, sceptered and kingly, for clearly divinity has opened wide a door. One after another, all glorious they rise, these ascended legions of shining angels. What mortals can never know until with God they stand. Panis Angelicus, the song that will be coming shortly, is a 13th century song whose name translates to the bread of angels. And concerning the angelic host, it has been said, every life stream has an angel that is called to guard that life in its journey through the various embodiments in this world. Unless you were to see these beings, these shining beings, the angelic host with the physical sight and the waking state, you couldn't possibly imagine in your wildest imagination the beauty, the power, and the love which they are and which they draw into the physical world. When you give them your love, you give them recognition. And our two other songs are entitled I Am the Presence and the Ascension. I Am the Presence is an adoration to the individualized presence of God, the Christ within every human being. The I Am Presence is the heart of God. The presence is the source of all life, feeds life into your body. You cannot be separated from it. Beloved, Jesus the Christ knew this great law of life, and he prefaced many of his statements with the words, I am, in recognition of the presence of God within every man. When he said, I am the light, the way, and the truth, he was acknowledging that one and only power, the I am presence within each person, God in action through man. He came, in fact, to teach it and have us picture that law of the I am in his own life through ourselves, so that all mankind might see and follow his example unto the ascension. Follow thou me, he would say to those who were his followers. Follow thou me. And beloved, Jesus said, may I assure you that you will never forget in all eternity the thrill of the moment when your feet leave the earth in the ascension. And in the passing into that great ray of light from our octave, where you enter into the love of your electronic presence, it is ecstasy supreme. It is a power without limit. It is the full victory of your feeling of the mastery of your own God within, the mighty I Am presence, as you take your ascension. Beloved ones, I say again, as I said 2,000 years ago, follow thou me. So in conclusion, as we prepare our precious Tanya for this lovely music, accept these words. The greatest law of life is love. Love is the first principle of life and can be generated through the physical form without any limit whatsoever. You will find as you look back upon your life that the moments where you have truly lived are the moments when you have done things in the spirit of love. As you come together, our precious friends, as one flame this day in marriage, may the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide with you. May God's presence illumine your hearts, now and forevermore. And from that time-honored milestone movie entitled Harry Met Sally. Milestone, mind you. But listen to what was said in that movie. It said, when you realize that you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible. And so we are so grateful that we all have had this opportunity to share your special day together as you join in marriage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Louisa. So while Tonya blesses us with her beautiful music, I just want us to take this opportunity. We'll be able to really settle in, open our hearts, allow the power of love to move through us as deeply as possible, and to send it to Claudia and David. And you get to breathe it in, knowing that this is the foundation of your new life together. And yes, let's sit down. Thank you, Tonya. we come to the blessing of the rings. Well, we thank you again and again for the creation, to our Creator that creates all beauty, all things, and for the creation of these beautiful rings. And we ask that you bless these rings so deeply, so profoundly, that as Claudia and David wear these rings, that you will know that love has no beginning. So how could it possibly ever have an end? So I will take hers. So who wants to go first? Yes. You're right. You're ready.
I promise to love you, to be your best friend, to respect and support you, to be patient with you, to work together with you to achieve your goals, to accept you unconditionally, and share my life with you forever. I promise to seek a deep understanding of your wishes, your desires, and your dreams. I promise to always strive to meet your needs, not out of obligation, but because it delights me to see you happy. I promise to show you every day that I know exactly how fortunate I am to have you. With this ring? With this ring? I now take you as my beloved wife.
It won't come off.
It's not going anywhere, ever.
Okay, yeah, my vows. In your pocket. David, I promise to love you, to honor you and respect you, and to cherish you. I promise to be your equal partner for the rest of our lives. And in walking our parallel spiritual paths together, to honor and serve the God presence, which is also within both of us. I am so grateful for our natural compatibility and for our shared values. My offer in this marriage is to create a beautiful home together, a place of peace, comfort, support, authenticity, patience, kindness, laughter, creativity, fun, negotiation,
Oh, yeah.
commitment, forgiveness, and love. Your happiness is so important to me. I'm so grateful for your talent and your powerful, beautiful music, and I promise to be your biggest fan. I vow to be a homemaker, to nourish your body by cooking healthy foods, especially your favorites.
Corn cheese enchiladas.
Chocolate chip cookies
Oh, yeah.
and lentils.
No. You're going to sleep that in there.
Even though we're both planners, I promise to live with you in the moment. I love you with all my heart,
and I promise to value the gift of each day, to have the privilege of being Mrs. David Leman.
And with this ring, I now
And with this ring, I now take you
as my beloved husband.
as my beloved husband. They're not coming off.
They are not going to come up. So now you are going to come up. From every human being, there rises a light that reaches straight to the heavens. And when two souls that are destined to be together find each other, their streams of light flow together, and a single brighter light goes forth from their united being. So on the sounds, as Karen is playing her beautiful music, because there is so much love here today and we're all experiencing it, we have a wonderful opportunity to share it with the rest of the world. So let's now send this love out to our family, our friends, our loved ones, to all people who need healing, knowing that this world is a more blessed place as a result of you, David, and you, Claudia, loving each other. So again, on the sounds of Karen's beautiful music, we know this love is going out and blessing this world. And by the power of this divine love that has brought you two together, it is our great privilege and pleasure. Please join me in presenting you as husband and wife. So please kiss the bride.